Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Jaya Koromore Tomabina Kendo Yalu Jagat Samsare Patita Pavana Hetu Tava Avatara Mosama Patita Prabhu Napai Behara Patita Pavana Hetu Tava Avatara Mosama Patita Prabhu Napai Behara Prabhu Nityananda Premananda Sukhi Kripa Bolo Kana Koro Mami Boro Duki Prabhu Nityananda Premananda Sukhi Kripa Bolo Kana Koro Ami Baro Duki Dwaya Koro Sitapati Advaita Goshai Tava Kripa Pole Pai Chaitanya Nitai Dwaya Koro Sitapati Advaita Goshai Tava Kripa Pole Pai Chaitanya Nitai Swarup Rupa Raghunatha Pata Juga Shideva Prabhu Lokanatha Ha Swarup Sanatana Rupa Raghunatha Pata Juga Shideva Prabhu Lokanatha. Daya Koro Shiacharya Prabhu Srinivasa Ramachandra Sangamage Narottamo Dasa. Daya Koro Shiacharya Prabhu Srinivasa Ramachandra Sangamage Narottamo Dasa. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Gaya Karo Hare Tamavina Kendo Yalu Jagat Samsare. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Gaya Karo Hare Kamabhina Keno Yalu Jagat Samsare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jayom Vishnupad Brahmahang Subrabhadakasharya Asadhara Sadushi Shiman His Divine Grace Klesi Bhaktivedanta Swami Raj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande Hariva, glories to these sound devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Vam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhute Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswatam Deve Gauravani Vacharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paskadyade Siddharna Om Agana Tivanandasya Gananjana Salakaya Chaksura Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Hidati Swapadantikam Pandeham Shigaro Shiyuta Padakamalam Shigaram Vaishnavam Scha Shirupam Sagarjatam Sahagana Raganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadutam Vrajana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shiva Sakans Vidamscha Hey Krishna Karna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gorande Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Prishubhanu Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Panchakapa Tubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Pranitananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhaktavrinda. On this auspicious appearance day of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I'm going to read from Madhya Leela, chapter 8, the talks between the Lord and Ramananda Roy. Is there any translation, or is there what's that? No, that's not what I said. Is the class being translated into any other language? No, it's just English. So this is text number 67. Yane priyasam udapastanamanteva Vivanti sanmukaritam bhavadiya varatam Stane stita shudikatam tanuvang manobir Ye priyaso jita jitopyasasi taistralokyam Translation, and there's no purport, but by Srila Prabhupada. Ramananda Roy continued, Lord Brahma said, My dear Lord, those devotees who have thrown away the impersonal conception of the absolute truth and have therefore abandoned discussing empiric philosophical truths, hear from self-realized devotees about your holy name, form, pastimes, and qualities. They should completely follow the principles of devotional service, remain free from illicit sex, gambling, intoxication, animal slaughter. Surrendering themselves fully with body, words, and mind, they can live in any ashram or social status. Indeed, you are conquered by such persons, although you are always unconquerable. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswatam Deve Gauravani Pacharane Nirvishesha Srinivadi Paskyadyade Siddharane. Ramananda Roy was explaining to Lord Chaitanya about the process of becoming Krishna conscious. And more or less he goes from the beginning of the process to the ultimate end of the process. From Vanashram, which is, Vanashram means that we're in conditioned life. And therefore, not only we have a tendency to speculate, but we desire fruitive results from our work. Therefore it is said, Chatur vidam bhajante mam janasakritina arjuna arta jignasya artharati gyani cha paratar shiva. So this is the neophyte devotee, one who approaches devotional service either directly through the process of sadhana bhakti or through the process of varnashram, but one is expecting some result, namely get free from suffering. Kalo, Sudra, Sambhava. Everyone, Jayate, Janmana, Shudra, everyone in Kali Yuga is born in the Bali concept of life. And therefore, anyone in the Bali concept of life must be suffering. And if you don't think you're suffering, just wait a few years. It'll all be revealed. Naturally, if one is suffering, because our nature is to be full of joy, one wants to get free from the suffering. And therefore, one takes to the process of devotional service and discovers the root cause of suffering, which is, and then mostly after doing that, then one leaves devotional service, because one cannot give up the root cause of suffering. One rather suffer than give up the root cause of suffering. Namely illicit sex, meat eating, gambling, intoxication, and mental speculation or lying propaganda. One time when Srila Prabhupada gave initiation, he asked the devotee, he was giving initiation after he recited the four regular principles, which one do you like the best? So we've been in the material world since time immemorial, trying to squeeze out some happiness because that's our nature. And to discover that the cause of our suffering is the cause of our happiness too is quite a shock to most people. And if one can surpass that, then one can begin to actually understand that there is something even more than suffering. Namely, when one gets free a little bit from suffering, then one becomes interested in enjoying. How to expand enjoyment? If the process helped me get free from suffering, certainly can help me increase my enjoyment. So one goes from a Shudra, or if one is not able to go beyond becoming a Shudra, one stays a Mudha. Mudha in Hindi, I guess, is a very serious word. I remember distributing at an airport, and one Indian gentleman, he was trying to break up the sale of the devotee I was distributing with, and he did that repeatedly, the book sales. So finally the devotee became disturbed, and he looked at the Indian gentleman who was a Christian and said, "You're a Mudha." And the man's eyes lit up. He couldn't believe it. And he said, "What did you call me?" He said, "You're a mudha." And he ran off to get the police. So the police came, and the policeman said, "Well, what's wrong?" He said, "He called me a mudha." "He called you a what?" the policeman said. "He called me a mudha." So the policeman looked at this man and said, "Are you crazy?" And just walked away. And this man's head almost exploded. And he ran away too. So it's a serious word, mudha. But if one can elevate oneself beyond being a mudha, one becomes a shudra. And if one can elevate oneself, then a shudra naturally in his next lifetime, if he acts as a very nice shudra, then he becomes hopefully a Vaishya. If not, then he becomes a Naradama. He's gotten some intelligence, how to live in the material world, but if he misuses it, he'll misuse it just like a monkey is very active, but he's actively foolish, which is more dangerous than someone who's inactively foolish. So the Naradamas, they set up slaughterhouses and brothels and so many things for sense gratification and try to enjoy even more sense gratification than they're capable of. And therefore, in their next lifetime, they go to the darkest regions of existence. A Shudra can only do so much sinful activity, and therefore he may remain a Shudra life after life. But in Naradama, he goes down to the lowest species of life, even in one lifetime. It's a marathon of sinful activity. But if he elevates himself a little bit, he becomes a Vaishya, protects the cows, he knows the standard of clean air, fresh water, nice relationships with others, Vrindavan atmosphere. Then he elevates himself, hopefully, to that of an inquisitive person, and the topmost inquisitive people in this world, well, not the topmost, but the one elevated status of inquisitiveness are the Kshatriyas who inquire from the Brahmins how to perform sacrifice. And if they misuse that position, then they become a Maya Prita Jnana, a mental speculator. Therefore, in this verse, Jnane Priyasa Mudapasta Namanta Eva, Ramananda Roy has already elevated the conversation from simply Varnashram to even to renunciation, to Sarva Dharma Prityaja, to give up the material concept of life. So now he starts out in this verse, which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepts as the process of elevating ourselves, Jnane Priyasa. Give up the tendency to speculate. That is, try to understand how insignificant we are, how insignificant our conceptions of life are, how insignificant everything about ourselves are. As one devotee went to Srila Prabhupada and said, Srila Prabhupada, he said, I'm a very small devotee, but I have a very big problem. And Prabhupada looked at him and said, how can an insignificant small devotee have a big problem? So to understand, although since time immemorial we've been trying to become the center of the universe, we haven't been doing a very good job of making any progress. We're still as insignificant as the time that we came here. Matter of fact, we've made no progress. Just like getting out of old age, disease, and death. As you probably heard, when Srila Prabhupada was in London, the reporters asked Srila Prabhupada that we've heard that in India, so many people are dying. So Prabhupada said, that's true. But also I've been in England for some time, and I've observed that everyone here in England, they also die. As a matter of fact, it's about the same rate as in India, 100%. So we've been trying so hard to solve the problems of life, but we've become very unsuccessful. Therefore, namanta eva, but not just ordinary, become submissive. Jivanti sanmukaritam bhavadiya varatam. Those who actually have some real knowledge, become submissive to them, hear from them. Now, there's no need, as Krishna, as Brahma, who recites his verse, stane stita, there's no need to give up any of our positions, either in Varna or in Ashram, because we have nothing to do with any of them. We're all transcendental. Anadidvam nirgunadvat paramatmayam aviyam shiriya stopikontya nakaroti nanulipyate. Those who can actually see with the eyes of eternity can see that the soul is eternal, transcendental, and beyond the modes of material nature. Despite contact with material body or Arjuna, the soul is neither doing anything, nor is he entangled. So we're all liberated by nature. Unfortunately, we're now bound by ignorance. And therefore we don't see that we're liberated. Kshetra, kshetragaya, evam antara jnana chakshusha, bhuta prakriti moksham cha, ye vidura yantate param. Actually, everything is extremely simple. One time one devotee said to Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, you make everything so simple. So Prabhupada said, that's because everything is simple. He said, there's Krishna, there's you, the soul, there's the material energy, there's the process of devotional service by which you get out of the material energy, and that's it. That's our whole philosophy. Any questions? There's nothing beyond that. Yavat sanjayate kinchit, sattvam stavar jangamam, sattvas samyogya jnana. That one can see that in the material world there's nothing but the moving and non-moving living entities, and the material nature he can actually see. There's nothing beyond that. Kshetra, kshetragya, samyoga, tadvidi bharatarshava. If we simply accept that, give up the speculation, she loves me not, she loves me not. Just give up that speculation, because she doesn't love you. Whatever money you have, that's what she loves. Just give her the money and get free. Then one can come to the platform of actually hearing and accepting and coming to actually some knowledge that we're eternal spiritual beings. The highest kanista adhikari, Srila Prabhupada, of the four Kumaras. No one to laugh at. No one to say, oh, just four Kumaras, they're kanista adhikaris. No, the platform of liberation from the material concept of life is an exalted position, and the whole process of devotional service that our acharyas have given us while we're chanting Hare Krishna is to act in the liberated concept of life. And the liberated concept of life, as it says here, begins with Shrutigatam Dhanuvang Mano Bhira. Accept whatever position we have. Not that there can be a better position. The material world is all a bad position. Prabhupada gives the example of wet stool and dry stool. In India here, sometimes they still pass stool on the fields. And there's an argument going on, just like where the jiva came from, should women give diksha. They also argue on whether wet stool is better than dry stool. And that's been going on since time immemorial. Some people claim that the wet stool is not very nice, but when it dries out, it's better. But after all, the conversation is about the same thing, stool. Similarly, in the material world, one may become a Brahma, one may become an insignificant insect, but ultimately, Brahma bhuvana loka punarvartanojana mamupetya tu konteya punarjanma navidyate. It doesn't matter the highest planet or the lowest, they're all places of misery where repeated birth and death take place. So rather than think, oh, if only I had this position or that position, everything would be much better. But there is no better. There's only bad or worse. So if you're not satisfied with bad, then you can take up worst. So remaining in one's own position, what is the most fortunate position? Satam prasangam amavirya samvido bhavanti rikarna rasayanam kata. Tajjo shavarashva vargavaratmini shararatira bhaktiya anukramishiti. Simply sit here and hear about Krishna. And for the conditioned soul, it's even more important than hearing about Krishna's Leela and the internal energy, to hear about Krishna's pastimes in this world and how to see that there's Kshetra, there's the material energy in its varieties, there's Kshetra Gyan, there's the soul, but there's also the super soul. There's a guide within our heart. Ishvara sarvabhutanam hrideshe arjuna tishtati. That Krishna is already in our heart. The Supreme Lord is already with us, trying to guide us. Tam eva sharanam gacha sara bharvena bharata. Surrender unto him in all respects, O Arjuna, and this way you'll attain eternal peace and the transcendental abode. So in this age, the super soul, what is he doing? He's telling us, chant, chant, chant. And Maya is saying, can't. Or as one devotee lady was talking to her mother and saying, Mom, you're about to leave your body. Chant, chant, chant. And her mom said right before she left the body, I cannot say so many words. Therefore, it takes some practice, some surrender to the super soul, and not only to the super soul, Shiksha Guru, Krishnera Swarup, Antaryami Bhakta Shrestha Eduri Rup. The super soul is also manifested himself as the best of the devotees. So the best of the devotees, such as Srila Prabhupada, is one coming in disciple succession. One who's bringing all the mercy of all the previous acharyas. He's not in competition with them. Oh, I'm writing this. I hope it's better than Rupa Goswami. You know, he sold so many books that maybe I hope I get, bestseller in the Hare Krishna movement. No, every word that Srila Prabhupada wrote had all the benedictions of all the previous acharyas. He wasn't in competition with them. He was their perfect instrument. He was their blessings. And therefore, if we surrender to Prabhupada's instructions, what will happen? The super soul will say, chant, chant, chant. And Maya will say, can't. And we'll say, that's all right, Maya. Take it outside. The result is that we'll chant. We'll learn how to chant Hare Krishna. And is it very difficult? Do we have to take 100 courses to figure out how to chant Hare Krishna? No, Prabhupada said chant and be happy. So chant the actual names, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And the Srimati Radharani will be there, Krishna will be there, everything will be there, and we hopefully will be there too. And if we pay a little attention, then we actually accept Krishna as he claims himself along with his associates. They're always happy. None of them are lamenting. Prabhupada used to say, you never see a picture of Krishna actually lamenting. He's not running after our as Prabhupada once said when he was installing Rukmini Dwarkadish. He said that Krishna is not interested in your fruity halava. Because halava was a very popular prasadam at one time in our society, probably still is, but the devotees' prasadam was rather austere, except when we had halava. And if they put raisins in the halava, wow, that was opulent. So Prabhupada said that Krishna is not after your fruity halava. It's not that, the Krishna said, halava, finally something to eat. But there's raisins in it. I can't avoid it. Just finish the prayers as soon as you can. I'm hungry. No, Srila Prabhupada was installing Rukmini Dwarkanath in LA, and he cited the example of, first he mentioned Vangsivadas Babaji Maharaj, and then he switched over to Sanatana Goswami. He was hanging Madan Mohan within a tree. Because Madan Mohan, he was living in the house of one Brahmin, Chobi, I believe his name was, and this Brahmin was so advanced that Madan Mohan, he was keeping as one of his sons. And sometimes Madan Mohan would get off the branch and he'd go and play with the other Brahmin's sons. So one night he had a dream, and in the dream, Madan Mohan came to him and said, tomorrow there will be a mendicant, he's going to come to you asking for some alms, and what I want you to do is give me to him, because you have so many children, he has no one. So the Brahmin said, well, I'm a little attached. That's all right. You got to be a little detached sometimes. So next day, Sanatana Goswami came, and he saw Madan Mohan, and Madan Mohan, because he was a very advanced devotee, said, I'd like to come and live with you. Sanatana Goswami said, wait, think twice. No, Madan Mohan said, it's all right. I can be austere. Whatever you give me, I'll accept. Okay. So Madan Mohan, he was living underneath a tree, which was not what Madan Mohan was expecting. So he was hanging on a branch of the tree, Madan Mohan. So Sanatana Goswami, he would beg a roti, something you'd throw into the fire. Just you make some dough from some flour and throw it into the fire, be half baked, half cooked, half raw. Sanatana Goswami would beg door to door, get a roti, give it to Madan Mohan. So after some days, Madan Mohan started to get a little disturbed. He said, Sanatana Goswami, he said, I'm going to, every day, all you're doing is giving me this dry, stale, half-cooked roti. He said, it was bad enough I have to live on this branch. But can you even get a little salt? So Sanatana Goswami said, today salt, tomorrow sweets. He said, I'm an old man. I can hardly move. Whatever I get, I offer to you. So Prabhupada said, Madan Mohan, he had to eat that. Then Prabhupada said, well, what is your value? And what is the value of the things that you have? He said that, my dear Krishna, I'm brought this for you. He said, I'm rotten and I'm fallen, but I brought this for you. And then Prabhupada started to cry. Kindly accept. And then Prabhupada said, but what is your value? And what is the value of the things that you have? It is nothing. That the real thing is bhakti. So when we're chanting Hare Krishna, we're also making an offering of bhakti to Krishna. So we should be joyful. Not Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. It didn't work yesterday. It's not working today either. What did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? He gave me a dud. This mantra for me doesn't work. Maybe Om Shivaya Namaha. Something a little bit more potent. No, we have to try because we're afflicted by so many different modes of material nature. We have to try to transcend the modes of material nature, give up our false ego, thinking that I got the bad deal, someone else got a better deal. What is the process of getting the better deal in the material world? First, I was a lowly brahmachari. Then I became a grihasta. I got a little status. I even got a car. I got my own room. Then they made me the temple commander, and everyone started to salute me. Then I became the vice president, waiting for my president to retire. And then after that, they made me the regional secretary, and I had 3 worlds to govern. And although it looked like I only had 1 head, actually I had 4, looking in all directions. And soon I took sannyas, and everyone said, I surrender. Finally, that word Prabhu made its appearance in a real way. And next I became a guru, and people gave their lives to me. And I gave some of them to Krishna too. And then I became a real success. I had so many disciples, I didn't even know who they were anymore. But I still couldn't chant Hare Krishna. Shnik, shnik, ram, ram, day, day, day. It still didn't work. No, in any position, stane stita, try to chant Hare Krishna happily. Try to give up these ideas that somehow or another there's something better in the material world. There's some better place to be in. No, just be happy chanting Hare Krishna. And what will happen? Then, if I utilize my body, mind, and words in Krishna's service, I might even remember Krishna. Lo and behold, Hare Krishna, where do you come from? You're not supposed to be here. And if we remember Krishna, if we become something like Krishna, if we do our service in the same mood, devotionally, then the result is just like when you put the iron in the fire, it gets hotter and hotter and hotter, and then it becomes like the fire. And then we become eligible to actually feel the presence of Krishna in our existence. And Krishna is so sweet. Srimati Radharani is so sweet. The whole material world, spiritual world is so sweet. And even this world, Sukham, is also full of happiness. Vishvam Sukho Sukhayate. That this world is full of happiness because it's non-different from Krishna. And everyone is serving Krishna either directly or indirectly. The Super Soul is everywhere. Our best friend is everywhere. What can go wrong? Nothing could go wrong except our own consciousness goes wrong. When we think there's something other than Krishna. So if we give up that speculation and chant Hare Krishna by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and our disciple succession, then we'll get all the blessings of our acharyas. And what is that, blessings? We'll join Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan movement, and we'll have a purpose of life. And what is the purpose of life? Ye priyasa jita jitos taistu lokyam. We'll become a perfect instrument for Krishna. And what is that perfect instrument for Krishna? Yari deka tari kaha Krishna upadesh amara agai gurahana tari desh. Whoever we meet will be in the mood of service. Like Srila Prabhupada, when he was giving a lecture in Sweden, he was explaining about the 4 ashrams, the 4 vanas. And so one man asked Srila Prabhupada, so you say that the Brahmins are the best, so I guess you must be a Brahmin, right? So Prabhupada said, no. He said, I'm a 5th class man, because I'm the servant of all the other classes. So what is that service in this age that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us? Not only chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Not only chant Hare Krishna, but whoever we meet, pray to the Super Soul. Try to remember, to help us understand how we can serve appropriately every living entity to help them advance in Krishna consciousness, to help them revive their relation with Krishna. That is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. Now, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not only preach philosophy, but he was actually emanating love for Krishna from his heart. And that love was so intense, so sweet, that even the animals in Jharikanda forest were dancing and chanting and embracing each other and kissing. Even the tigers and the deer were embracing and kissing. Not just because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave a class in the Jharikanda forest and the animals came and listened. They said, yeah, I know as Target said, I know I always wanted to be a vegetarian, but I just didn't know how to cook. No, because of the love from his heart, therefore, because he had Krishna in his heart, Krishna's pastimes in his heart, because he was participating lovingly in the service of Krishna in his heart, therefore it overflooded the Jharikanda forest, and all the animals became ecstatic in love for Krishna. So our mission is, we want to help everyone we can as a service to Krishna. And if we do that, Krishna will appear in our heart and give us the intelligence how to serve them. Of course, if Krishna, as much as Krishna is in our heart, we'll become enthusiastic and happy, and actually that will overflow to some degree. As Srila Prabhupada said, the reason why people buy our books is not because they went onto the street looking for some ancient Indian philosophy along with their groceries. No, it's because when they meet the devotee, they're seeing, wow, this person's convinced about something. I can't believe it. Whoa, wow, what did I just run into? And because they're so enthusiastic, they think, wow, that's what I'm looking for. What do you got? Well, here's a book. It's all in here. You're an intelligent person. Use your intelligence. Take the book and give a donation. So the person thinks, wow, let me find out. This is really a different experience. This person's convinced, and whatever he's enthusiastic about, he's actually really enthusiastic. Let me find out what this is about. Beep, beep, the super souls, buy the book, buy the book, buy the book. And the person buys the book. So that's what spreads the Krishna consciousness movement, as much as we actually become convinced that this is real. This is something I should apply in my life. And as much as we apply it, we experience the happiness of the love between Krishna and his devotees. And we think, wow, that was something I never expected. And it's only increasing. Anandam buddhivardhanam paditpanam punamritasvadanam sarvatma snaparam param vijayate Shri Krishna sankirtanam. That's what spreads the Hare Krishna movement. The conviction of the devotees, they're actually following the process that Srila Prabhupada and our previous acharyas gave us, and they're experiencing the love for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in separation, and therefore they're actually entering into the spiritual world. And this is the gift of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Not simply to become free from distress, have a happy life in the material world, get all our philosophy, everything clear, and then to actually become liberated and become the supreme, the center of attention. Taranga, Rangini, enjoying the small waves of devotion. Now purify our hearts and spread Krishna consciousness and become a servant of the servant of the servant of the servant of the acharyas in disciple succession. And that way, whoever we meet, act as their instrument and try to give others Krishna consciousness. As Prabhupada wrote to me in one of my first letters he sent me, he said, the more you work seriously to help bring Lord Krishna's other children back to the spiritual kingdom, then more he'll bestow all his blessings upon you. That Krishna is never ungrateful for our efforts to serve him, rest assured. We don't have to know unlimited slokas or pastimes. We just have to become sincere instrument for Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his mission to give everyone, according to our ability, according to the intelligence given to us, try to serve everyone, help them revive their relation with Krishna. That will make Krishna happy with us, and that will make others happy too. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.